You guys, how many of my videos start out this exact same way? Focus on the smoothie. Focus on the lack of seatbelt. Focus on little thelonious. Okay, you notice that little thelonious isn't injured? He's still in mint condition. I have expired tags now. I really need to do something about that. I can probably get away with it for about 6 months though. I mean, if you just avoid police, if you just avoid like being suspicious, like you can get away with it for a lot longer. But it's something I should take care of. My voice is so cool. I wish that I always sounded like this, but unfortunately I can't sing. I can't sing. It's terrible. You know how I told you guys about that coworker of mine that relapsed? Well, he had 2 years of sobriety. Hi. Sorry. I'm just laughing at stupid shit right now. Yeah, so he had 2 years of sobriety, and apparently the whole reason why he was sober is because he got a DUI. Now, I was told by my other coworkers that he was drinking in his truck all day yesterday, like in the Steak and Shake parking lot. Now, his stepdaughter, who's, I believe, 16 or 17, she was working, which was already such a bad idea. Unless your family members actually get along, like, and I'm not saying they didn't get along, I mean, they seemed like they were cool or whatever, but it just seems like that would add extra tension. So, he's taking care of a bunch of kids that aren't his. He's with this older woman. Like, his wife is several years older than him, and he's taking care of her kids. And the one that is working with us, he has the healthiest relationship with. Everybody else, they fucking hate him, and they blame him for everything. Which just makes sense, right? Well, so he was at work, not working, because like Saturday's his day off. So he was there in the parking lot, just drinking, and apparently took a piss outside of his truck. Now, in case you're not familiar with this channel, and it occurred to me that I probably shouldn't put this stuff on the internet because I guess it is like public indecency. How many illegal things can I put on this channel? This is probably illegal what I'm doing right now. Well, I mean, yeah, it is. Technically. But the camcorder, you know, we're not supposed to have a handheld device in the state of Tennessee. But, I get it. I fucking get it. I'm not gonna pretend that that's not an understandable law. But at the the same time, I really don't care because if I had $1 for every time I noticed that the car next to me, or maybe the car that's passing me. So, I mean, I'm a very observant person, so I will notice what a lot of people are doing around me. And, you know, maybe that's bad because I can't focus on what I'm supposed to do and just drive in a straight line, right? But I'm admitting my faults, okay? It is a fault in certain regards. In other regards, it's a strength because, like, I mean, there's things that I pay attention to that other people don't. There are things that I notice that I think are beneficial. They might be beneficial to me. They would definitely be beneficial to the world if the world gave a fuck. But since the world doesn't, I digress. But yes, if I had $1 for every time that I just happened to notice that other people driving around me had a handheld device, motherfucker. Well, I wasn't missing it for very long, was I? Wonder what that's about. I guess I could get my car tested at an AutoZone place because they have a little machine that detects exactly what it is. Actually, no. This friend of mine at work, he has a machine that does that. But anyway. Okay. I'm so used to this though that it doesn't even bother me. I'm immune to the check engine light. Well, here's the thing. I'm under warranty though, so I guess I could just take it back and have them check it out. Isn't that right? Isn't that what warranty means? Okay. I'll just have to call tomorrow. But yeah, so eventually I'm gonna finish the story, I promise. Yeah, but if I had $1 for every single time that I happened to notice people around me driving a car that had their smartphone in their hand, and I don't know what they're doing. They could be texting, they could be, you know, sending a very, very important text message. They could be making a very, very important TikTok or sending a very, very important Snapchat. I have no idea what they're doing, and it's not right for me to assume that they're not doing anything important. But probably the thermostat, now that I'm thinking about it, because, sorry, the AutoZone people told me that it was like, there were 2 codes that came up, and one was the O2 sensor. I know that's not it, because they just changed that, but they said that the other code that came up was the thermostat. Okay. I guess we'll have to make another trip over there, but if I had $1, if I had $1 for every single time that I saw somebody on their smartphone driving around, I might be able to pay my electric bill, okay? But, yeah, it's ridiculous. The point I'm trying to make is that I don't feel guilty about this for a reason. Not that I should use other people's bad behavior to excuse my own, but I just, anyway. This coworker of mine was taking a piss outside of his truck when he was really drunk in the parking lot of our job, and somebody saw him do this and reported it to the police. I watched him get arrested last night. Me and all my coworkers watched him get put in handcuffs. And it was really fucking awkward because we were all just standing there in the drive-thru window, just like staring outside. But I legit feel bad for him because of his situation. He doesn't have much self-confidence. I mean, he told me this when he was really drunk. Like when he came into work that first time after he relapsed. And he just said that, yeah, I don't really have much self-confidence. Because I told him, I was like, you shouldn't let other people, like, determine, like, decisions that you make, like, so if other people don't appreciate your sobriety, like, I mean, fuck it, like, I think this is the major problem that I have with people that say, like, oh, they're sober for their kids, or, like, they're sober because they're trying to save a marriage. I'm not saying that people that you love and care about can't motivate you, but you shouldn't be, like, relying on situations in your life to be good in order to do the right thing, you know? Like, if you know that you can't handle alcohol or drugs or whatever it is, like, it really doesn't matter, like, what the situation is, you know? I mean, his family life is not going to improve because he got drunk, or, like, it's not going to go away. I mean, he's going to wake up in jail and feel like a fucking idiot because that was his coping mechanism. And by the way, this guy's on medication. Okay, he says he's bipolar and he's on medication. And so, for a lot of people to think that I'm just, like, exaggerating, that I'm making a big deal out of nothing because I just don't like pills or I don't like psychiatrists or whatever. They don't teach you how to deal with things. That's the point. That's the main point that I have about it. It's not just like, oh, psychiatry's evil and pills aren't good. I mean, they're really not, but whatever. Like, that's not the strongest point I can make on this particular subject. The strongest point I can make is that they don't help you resolve your problems. They don't help you understand yourself and why you keep cycling through the same bad habits or the same negative thoughts that leads you to those bad habits, you know? That's the point of taking a psychedelic, all right? Now, I can understand now that there are plenty of people that take psychedelics that learn nothing from it, but that's not the point of it. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff that you can learn about yourself if you pay attention. But sadly, I don't think that a lot of people, like, want to pay attention to things that remind them that they probably should do more work on themselves, you know? Yeah, so if people were told, you know, you need to attention to your body. You need to pay attention to your thoughts and like when you have certain thoughts and like what triggers that. Like, so I'm paying attention to my car right now. I'm paying attention to the fact that this light always comes on at this fucking intersection. Like fucking clockwork. Okay? So yeah, your mind, like this whole culture, this is why I hate Americans so much. I mean, I don't hate them like on a personal level, but just the whole culture of America, and like just this, let's not pay attention to things, let's just like pretend that these problems aren't here, and let's just pay these people to deal with it, you know. That's not really worked out. Like, it hasn't worked out for a long time, but people still keep choosing this method because they're just weak. They're really weak-minded. But if they paid attention to the timing of things, they wouldn't be able to not notice that very few people pay attention to the timing of things. And that's why it's so easy to manipulate all these college kids with triggers and all that shit. Like, I'll see that sometimes with like YouTube videos that people will post, and they'll say, oh, this video could be triggering to people. Like, oh my goodness, it's so depressing that we live in a society. Suicide. I can kind of sing now, kind of, not really. But, okay, let's see if the check engine light comes back on. Oh my god, it's just pissed me off. But yeah, we live in a civilization that just basically profits off of everybody being really weak and pathetic and refusing to work on themselves and refusing to work on their communities and the things that, like, everybody, if everybody contributed, like, everyone could improve upon all the situations that they think are up to some bureaucrat or up to some psychiatrist or up to some other person in authority that's never done what they say. But how did I get on this tangent? Oh, my coworker, because he's on bipolar medication that did not help him figure out why he's an alcoholic. Well, this is a person who, he told me that, oh, well, I can't do AA because I couldn't even get past the second step. The second step is came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Okay. Look, I understand that, like, if you don't believe in God, like, that stuff is really hard. But if you're desperate enough, you'll overcome your personal bias, and not to the point of, like, gaslighting yourself, but just, okay, I don't agree with this, and this, but I can pretend that I do, you know? I hate the phrase fake it till you make it, but I think that this is specifically what they mean. And you know, one of my favorite musicians of all time one of my favorite artists ever. Her name's Saint Vincent. Annie Clark. She was talking about how she used to not have confidence. And she said that her musician aunt and uncle, who she managed their band like all throughout high school, I think. She said that they told her, like, just pretend you have confidence and eventually you will. And it's hard to believe that with her because she's so graceful and she's beautiful and she's insanely talented. Like, she's a genius. And so it's kind of hard to believe that somebody like her wouldn't have confidence. But, you know, I mean, a lot of her music, you know, makes it really obvious that she really doesn't, you know, and there are a lot of things that she's insecure about. And so what I'm saying is that, like, people have to try harder to, like, get the kind of results that they want, you know? And I didn't believe that for a long time because, like, yeah, I didn't know how anybody could fake anything because I'm not good at being fake at all. I think that's probably why a lot of you like this channel so much. But the whole, you know, acting as if, put one foot in front of the other, that kind of shit. It's like, you don't put one foot in front of the other because you want to. You just do it because it's what you have to do. You know? And if you got to stay sober in order to maintain any kind of, like, mental or physical stability, like, if you're just a really unstable person and, like, drugs and alcohol, like, make it so much worse, then yeah, like, you need to figure that shit out and, like, not expect, like, pills to fix it, or not expect, like, you know, I have issues with, like, people that just go to meetings and they think that, like, that's gonna fix it. Like, no, like, you have to depend on yourself. And yeah, I think that's really hard for people. Like, one of the reasons why I'm a confident person is because, like, I've always had a sense of direction because of my relationship with God. Even though I've been falling apart, even though I've been fucking nuts, as y'all know, it's like, there's just a lot that a relationship with God will give to you. And yeah, people that don't have that, they scoff at that and they think, oh, it's a personal weakness, but it's literally the opposite. But anyway, I pray for my friends. It sucks. It sucks. His truck is in the fucking parking lot and he's in jail right now. My manager asked me to come in early tomorrow, and I know that's why. So I gotta do his job, but I guess that's not bad because I can make money. But anyway, I'm gonna go, but oh god, they're playing this god-awful Christmas music. That's what I hate about Christmas so much, is that they're always, like, playing shitty fucking music.
6 or 7.
Okay, I'm gonna go.